And I noticed that when I do testing for her, that it's a different finger from mine. So her responses come from my first finger, and my responses come from the second finger.
So you test for her sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Put your finger back there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's just test one thing. Did Gianna cure anything when I did that with her gravitational body?
Did she cure anything when I did that with her gravitational?
See if you get an involuntary finger movement in one of your fingers.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
Just pushes down.
Was that the her finger or the you finger?
That's her finger.
Okay, so she actually cured something when you did that. So that's important to realize that when it seems to us like we're curing them, but actually they're curing. We also do probably cure them, but they cure things. And go on now.
Well, I would really like to find out about how to do immunics for my daughter.
Yes, yes, I'll tell you what. Why don't we take another 15 minutes and do that?
That would be fabulous.
You know, and then, but see, okay, so I'm going to start, and this is called the 2-year-old CureProgram. And the idea is, there's several ideas of this. One of them is to simply have your daughter develop faster and more effectively and in a more balanced and complete way. Another one is to have her never have a childhood illness. Okay? And then there's a third one. And the third one is to have your daughter become able to cure her own things.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So, and I take it she's your buddy, right? You guys like being together, and
yes.
you have a lot of fun together.
She hasn't discovered I don't know everything yet.
Well, see, the good stuff about this is that when she starts getting her own signals, she'll discover that it doesn't matter whether you know everything or not. You know, because she has access to knowing it. She can know everything, which is better than having a mommy who knows everything. And see, that's what I like about doing this with people for me, because I don't have to know everything. I don't have to be their mommy who knows everything. You know, I can be me, and you can be you, and you can know what you need to know. And you don't have to ask me a bunch of stupid questions that I don't want to. You know, right, you know. But the question you asked was good about how do I do this with my daughter. That's a good question. I like that kind of question. You know, that's a good question. I mean, there are questions that I enjoy answering. Okay, let's start with something very basic, okay? But I want to say that we're going to have to meet a whole bunch of times to do this, you know, program for your daughter. You know, that we're not going to do everything in this one sitting. But this is first we'll start with this. Okay, take your gravitational body and link it with hers. What's her name?
Gianna.
Okay, Gianna, I'm going to do the same thing, by the way. So we're both linking our gravitational bodies with Gianna. Now, can you feel her gravitational body?
Well, I can't say whether it was ever separated.
Okay, I'll give you a hint about the gravitational body. When you were a subatomic particle, you had one. So that's how small it is and how fast it moves. And whenever you look at it, or your own or somebody else's, you're actually like seeing a very greatly magnified version of it. And usually it's not around the physical body, because it's always off doing something, because it goes out and it reads codes in other gravitational bodies and other bodies, and DNA codes in plants, animals, people, whatever, you know. And it's always gathering things that it thinks you might need, which then it transfers to the spiral body, which then absorbs, then that puts it in the DNA. but it also reads your DNA. It's like going around reading things all the time. So look at her gravitational body, and do you see anything that seems like it might be, that you might be able to erase it?
I kind of had an image of like, as if it was spinning, but it was warbling, like the warble that's
just that's good. So just like grab it and sort of like steady it. And okay, now you're not visualizing this, right? You're actually seeing the real.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not a visualization. That's important because people try to do visualizations where they don't know what we're talking about, you know? Okay, so this is an example of how to do immunics with a baby. Now your daughter's too. See, babies can't do immunics for themselves. Your daughter is getting to the point where she can do immunics with herself.
Pretty soon, I think, yeah.
And so what you're going to do, when you're with her, you're going to do immunics in front of her, for her. Like you'll do the same thing I just did with you. You'll just say, I'm grabbing your gravitational body, can you feel that, or something like that. You know, you can ask her if she can, then she can maybe start feeling her bodies. And you don't have to worry about her testing with her fingers. She'll see your test, and she'll probably start to get finger signals. But after a while, you can tell her to see if she can get a finger signal. But at first, just do things with her, you know, and see if she can do it too, you know.
Yeah, well, she likes to copy me, like with the EFT and stuff. She does that sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and I was doing that for her too. So, and I've been kind of experimenting a little bit with immunics with her, although sort of half-heartedly because I wasn't quite sure what the heck I was doing. And I noticed that when I do testing for her, that it's a different finger from mine. So her responses come from my first finger, and my responses come from the second finger.
So you test for her sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Put your finger back there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's just test one thing. Did Gianna cure anything when I did that with her gravitational body?
Did she cure anything when I did that with her gravitational?
See if you get an involuntary finger movement in one of your fingers.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
Just pushes down.
Was that the her finger or the you finger?
That's her finger.
Okay, so she actually cured something when you did that. So that's important to realize that when it seems to us like we're curing them, but actually they're curing. We also do probably cure them, but they cure things. And also you've tested her willingness. She's obviously willing to cure things. Because, you know, somebody's grandmother gets cancer and they say, well, she won't do this, but can I cure her? And I say, sure, try it. And they try it, and 5 minutes later she's got the cancer back because she wants to have the cancer.
Yeah.
And she's got to cure it for herself.
Yeah.
All right, so this is lesson number 1 in the Cure program for 2-year-olds. And she is now in the program curing herself. She cured herself. You like that? That's good, right?
Yeah.
I can see you're happy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You look very happy.
What a powerful woman she will grow up to be. I mean, to have it from 2 years old and to spend her whole life being able to.
She's going to be way more powerful than you and me.
Wow, like a million times. Like I can't even.
Well, you know what?
Can't even imagine.
I'll tell you a little story. When this goes up on a web page, and you see it on a web page, you're going to see some movies with a boy and his mother. And he started when he was 4. That's when she found it. No, wait, he started earlier, and she was curing him the way you were just doing. And so she stopped him from getting sick. He was very sickly, and she looked for something that she could use to cure him and stumbled on this. That's how she got into it. And he stopped getting sick. So, but you'll see some movies and him doing other things and so on. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, about that permission thing, people wanting to be cured. My husband, he does EFT and stuff with me too. But when I said, "Do you want to learn immunics?" he said, I am so full of energy healing, I don't want to learn anything new right now. Because for him, it's kind of like a sideline. It's not a main thing.
Let me tell you another story. You know, Ross. You know who Ross is? Well, Ross. Ross has her sister. She wanted her sister to cure something. I can't remember what it was. And she kept trying to explain this to her sister, and her sister kept saying, "No, I'm not interested. I don't want. It's not my kind of thing." And then she did it in front of her, and her sister started doing it. So now her sister does it.
Well, that's the thing about my husband. He's like, "That's too complicated. I can't. I don't want to learn that." He said, "Can you just do it for me?"
Well, you know, he's right. It's very complicated. You know.
He doesn't have any problem, like, he absolutely does not have any, like, resistance to it. He just is, like, lazy about it, you know? He's like, can you just do it for me? I don't want to have to learn all this, like, complicated stuff, you know?
Right.
So
I can hear exactly what he's talking about. And you know what?
Complex.
You know, he'll assimilate it a little at a time. It's fine. He's open to it. You know, he'll be fine.
He has like a hemorrhoid problem that's quite bad.
Oh, I can help him.
Yeah.
I have a hemorrhoid problem, and I cured it, and I can show him exactly. And you know, he's got to change what he eats. You know.
Oh, really?
Yes. I should talk to him actually, but not now. I got to go shortly. But I also want to tell you to share. I want you to write about this and try to convey what we did on Facebook. And I will share that when I see it.
Okay.
So just write it on your wall.
Yeah.
And I'll go to your wall and I'll share it. I'll do that later. I know you're probably going to... Can you think you could do it before you go to bed?
Well, it depends on how grouchy my 2-year-old gets.
Okay, well, we'll see. But, you know, whenever, tonight or tomorrow morning or whatever, while it's fresh in your mind is best.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Well, then I will go for now. This is wonderful, and I'm really enjoying doing this with you, by the way.
Thank you. I'm really honored that you can spend time with me. That's excellent.
It's a joy to be with you, and we will make another appointment for really soon, okay?